Hello, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make cool animations like this of, little screens talking or wondering something and then becoming sad or angry and just doing a bunch of different stuff with them. So yeah, I'm going to eat you now. No. Alright, so let's start with this. So let's start with the timer. This timer basically makes an infinite loop that just goes whee around the world. So yeah, basically you make it so if it go that it would go one way and then it would just continue going that way and it would lead back to the start and then it would continue going and then it would continue going. So yeah, and you put one power source into it for a single second and then it doesn't stay powered and it sets a timer. And that timer makes sure that every animation happens at a correct time, so it repeats and isn't just a still image. So yeah, so you basically just take what you have and then just has to take like a button or power supply and just press the button or put on a power supply just to turn it on. And this basically just turns the animation off and on. With the animation of a talking face that talks, closes its mouth, and then talks again, you need a still image. The still image is to have most of it stay into place because you don't want this turning off, so you have that ready and then you maneuver something else. So basically, you have a solid thing that you have something else you maneuver on it. So basically, this is your scaffolding, sort of, and then everything else you do is whatever you want. You can power it with a power supply block just to keep it going, and this keeps power, so if it's turned on with the energy, it would be turned off with the energy. So it would turn all these on, keep them on, and then turn them off. Which leads to an animation like this. See all of that turn on, and that is still a still image. You can still see it. It's just harder with that little line to be there. And you paint it whatever color you want, or to show any emotion you want it to be. Like, if I wanted it to be angry, I could just simply paint it to look sort of angry. You kind of, if I made it a frown, it would look angry, but also there's other ways you can make it angry by like adding like a V between its eyes to make it look more angry. So yeah, and then this one is a little bit more complex. Can't tell. So still the same timer, works the same way, but this time you have two of these, and they go on at different times. So basically, you place one, you let the power turn on, place another one, and then when the power turns on for this one, it turns off, and this one, it turns on. So these always will inverse. So and then you have one of them set up to a animation that you want it to be. And for me, it had a frowny face. He's painted red to show that it's angry. And it didn't really come out too well because I couldn't add the V. So it kind of looks sad with just a red face. Then for the question mark, I have a second one that is also red and it just goes in a question mark shape. So it's the same concept, it's just different ways of bringing it out. Because if you want it to not change the actual image, you want the still image just to be powered by a power supply. But this, you don't want a still image, you want them to just swap. So, yeah. And, the kind of scale that I would recommend for them is 9x9 or 10x10. Anything smaller than that is too little because it's not really that big enough. Because this is a 1x1, which can only be one light. If it's a 3x3, it's just gonna be 9 lights. But also something that I would recommend is trying not to keep the light on the edge. Like with these, I tried to keep them the same size so it looks nicer, but if you want them to look better, you don't want them on the edge because you can see that's like close to the edge. Now if I take this off, it doesn't really look as good with nothing above it. But if I put it back on, then it looks a lot better. I'll show you with it on once I finish placing these. And now it looks a lot better because now when it actually doesn't look like it's just missing there. So yeah, that's a way to improve the look of the like screen drawing and screen animation. So yeah, that's just a quick run through on the animation. And if you want, and there's no way to by the way, something that I was upset about was that there's no way to turn 4 on at the exact same time, with having them all have their own individual timer, and have that timer be set to the exact same tick speed, and just so happen to be activated at the exact same time. So there's no way to turn them all on at the same time unless you go through that effort, which is like impossible to do. So there's always going to be a slight delay. Like this one, you can always tell it goes first, that it's this one and then this one, and then they all turn off in the same pattern. And so there's this one. There's no really way to speed it up other than using these timers, which these ones that have like a little eye on it. It is like adds ticks, making so it lasts longer. These make it faster. Like if I take this and now put that there, and now I take a button. Now, it sped through this like crazy, and now it became a full-on loop that is infinite and doesn't stop. But now if I take the minus, now it just becomes a regular loop like before, and has a delay. So yeah, the ones that look like eyes have delay, which apparently sometimes they don't want to work well. Well, now it's working. So yeah, speed that I found that is good is having one big one small one big one small one, and then having that repeat. So yeah, there's a lot more you could do with this. Like you can have it so that if you press a button, it happens. Like you can see in the like lab map that's like right over there. So yeah, this might have seemed very complex at first, but when you actually, like, get taught it, which I have just done to you, it's actually pretty simple. It's literally just, it goes around, whoa. It goes onto this, it turns on, it turns off, and it turns this on and off, and this stays still. Then this one, same thing, loop, yay. This turns on, this turns off, this turns off, this turns on. And the inverse. That's probably the hardest thing about this, other than building the actual screen. Painting! Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Very easy. And then, wires, they're connected to different things and connected in the way that they're supposed to be connected. Make sure to connect them to another thing that is other wires for another animation thing. Like, it would really not look good if I tried moving the question mark down 1, because this block would be down there. And if I tried to activate that 1 block, it would not work. So yeah, I feel like they should add a like block that lets you do that, to have it be on the same block. And sadly, there's no way to change the color of each one. So yeah, which is really upsetting, because I feel like they should add a block where you can make it be 2 different colors at the same time. So like with other machines, you can make it so it does like a really cool animation. And like if I made the whole like big scale thing, I wish I could make like an entire like water droplet that drops down and changes different colors or something. But the thing is, you can't do that if it stays in the same spot for a single split second. Because then it would just continue being messed up. So yeah. So remember, it's pretty simple. Clock, on, off, wires, and paint. And that's it. Very easy to do, and actually it's very quick. The most time-consuming part is placing down each individual one by one, which some of it you can possibly speed up by possibly placing down these. And if you've got a big area that you're not going to use, these, but I just like to make it all out of 1x1s, which is very time consuming, but it's very rewarding with being able to know, okay, I have a clean slate, I know what I'm gonna do, and be able to do it. Not have to, oh, I've got to remove this, replace all of these with 1x1s. So, yeah. That's my decently timed run through of how animations work in this. So, yeah. So yeah, and there's a bunch of different ways you can use this. You can use this in your map to make a cool little animation. And you can use this in a video like I have done and to do a tutorial or to just even have just a cool little background. So yeah, this is your tutorial and yeah. So yeah. Also there's a block that I figured out that's basically useless. It's this thing. It produces power like the energy block, but when power goes into it, it turns it off. So it just inverts the power. The only way it could be good is if you're trying to make it so the image is just completely black and everything else is white. That's the only difference. Hence, or only reason why you use it. So it would just be easier to not use it. And there is also a difference between the light bulb and the screen. I've discovered this. So basically, it might seem kind of obvious, or it might seem kind of weird, but the screens actually don't produce any light. They produce 0. But the light bulb does. So yeah, if you want an animation to light up the whole room, or like a computer to turn on and light up the whole room, then you'd want to use light bulbs on it, not screens. So yeah, if you wanted to do it for like a skit or something, you'd want to build it out of these with the same principles, except it'd be way longer because you might not be able to use the bigger screens. So yeah, and we're approaching 50 subs, so hope you guys are excited for that 50 subs giveaway. And you know what? Maybe I should put the code in this video so that people who are subscribed but don't actually watch the videos don't get to join the live stream. Nah, I don't feel like doing that. I'd probably forget it. So yeah, also at 50 subs, I'd probably make my own fan code because, well, yeah, funny. So yeah, hope you liked the tutorial. Sorry for yapping so much. And I didn't really post much on this because I was sick. So yeah, this is a big upgrade, by the way, between the like first thing that I did when the game came out, or like not game, but when the like first thing that I tried building when the update came out to now. So yeah, I used to suck at this, but now I'm actually pretty good at it. So yeah, this is really fun to do, and you should try to do it. And yeah, again, sorry for yapping so much. And subscribe to me, subscribe to Mr. Beast, and yeah. So yum. And you're about to die now inside my skull. Wait, I'm about